Well, hello, and welcome to my living room or family room, I guess you could say. So we ended up combining both of those spaces into this one room in our house. So 5 years ago, we did some construction on this first floor. Originally, we had like a sunroom, which was like a sitting room. You know, back in the 50s, they had like formal living rooms. Well, I think that's what this room's purpose was, but we're not really formal people. So we decided to kind of switch this room around and make it an all encompassing shared space, let's say. So this room has transformed into our shared space, living room, family room, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, because we like live in this room, we have to keep it clutter free. Otherwise, the piles of stuff would just easily take over. So I'm going to share with you how you can keep your living room, family room, really any shared space organized in this video. These tricks that I'm going to share can work in any shared space. Now, a shared space is a space that you share with many people. It's not just like one person's room or one person's spot. So a shared space is like a living room, family room, basement area, conservatory, like however your house is set up, that many people use the space, that's a shared space. First thing you have to do when it comes to organizing your space is to declutter all of the things that are no longer working in that space. So you're gonna have to start by looking at what is not working, what it just jumps out at you and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand this. Get rid of it. What is the point of holding on to it? If you don't love it, get rid of it. Donate or sell. You can watch the video above to figure out how to donate or sell your items. Super helpful information there. Once you declutter, then it's time to create a plan. What do you want the room to do and be? What does organized look like in that room? You got to be super clear on that, because when you're clear on what organized looks like in that space, or what done looks like when you are doing an organizing project, you are going to be more likely to actually achieve that goal because you see the end picture. You aren't striving for some imaginative type of thing. You are actually going for something that you have decided is worthy of being done. Maybe you just want places to sit. Maybe you just want to get rid of all the junk in the space. Whatever it is, set that goal, and then that is what done looks like. So after you remove all of the items that are like no longer serving your space, then it is time to start clearing off spaces. Okay, the next thing to do is try and corral all the items, like items together. So really stick them together in one specific location. So for myself, all of our books are on our bookshelf. I decided to color code them because I needed a pop of color in the space. So I'm using my books as decor. That is different from if you are using books to, find what you want. Then I would alphabetize how the books are stored. But you can read more about book organization down below because I have a whole bunch of tips on how to organize your books. Another tip for keeping shared spaces organized is to keep your counters or tops as clear as you possibly can. Because when things start to pile up on like your coffee table or shelves, then it just makes it easier for everyone in the family to start putting things away in that one location. So if you don't want piles of paper on your coffee table, then don't keep anything on the coffee table. And when you see something on the coffee table, it makes it much easier to remove it and put it somewhere else. Another thing to do in your shared space is to make sure that the cords aren't all over the place. I know this is such a random tip, but trust me, it really does make a difference. So cords actually can create visual clutter in a space. Yes, visual clutter is a real thing. When your eye immediately goes to something like a cord just dangling around. So create a way that your cord isn't just hanging all over the place. Maybe get one of the organizers that kind of contains all of the cords. Maybe try attaching 3M hooks, you know, like what you hang your Christmas lights with, and put that on the back of an end table to kind of hide some of your cords. But just get the cords out of the way from visual sight, because one, it could be a hazard, especially if you have young kids. It could trip over it, pull it out, knock something over. And you want to reduce that visual clutter, because that's not what you want in a shared space room at all. Because the second that that room starts to visually look cluttered, physical clutter is going to make its way into that space as well. Another tip with shared spaces is to zone off your shared space. So let's use my family room as an example. So in our family room, we have some spots where the kids can have their toys, their baskets, but we've created kind of like a play zone within our family room. We also have our reading nook. We also have, you know, the TV corner, and we also have a spot for all of my plants. Yes, I have a lot of plants. I'm a plant lady. What can I say? So because we've created all of these zones within our living room, now everything has a designated spot. It makes it really easy to keep the toys contained to one area. And it also helps because when I water my plants, they're all kind of in like one location all together. Now, they do get spread out sometimes, but in the winter, I like to keep them all together so that they are away from windows, because it does get cold here in Chicago. Another tip is to take advantage of those kind of like random, weird corners, nooks, crannies in your shared space. So for us, it is behind our couch. Because our family room, living room area is also our entryway, we had to be creative in how we set up the space. So behind our couch, we have some space for plants and for other decor pieces that I love. This way, when I shop my home, I have a wide variety of pieces that I can use throughout the entire house. Now, what do I mean by shopping my house? Well, I have a whole blog post down below where I talk all about what it means to shop your house, how to shop your house, and why I love that for decor, because that means I don't have to buy anything new. So go check that out below. You also have to set expectations and rules within every single shared space of your house. How do you do that? Well, you start by saying what everybody has to do in that room. If you want the clicker or remote control in a specific spot, that's a rule of the room. If you don't want things on the coffee table, that's another rule of the room. I would suggest about 3 to 5 rules of the room in order to maintain what you have. This way, you are training everybody in the family how to interact in this shared space. Because it's shared, you want to make sure that everyone is on the same page and they know what is expected. And if something isn't working, just change it. It is not a big deal. You can easily tweak whatever you've been doing in order to make it work for you in your space. Do not feel confined to what you've set up, because something might not work because one of your children is not able to follow through with something. Maybe you noticed that your husband likes to put the remote control in a different spot than where you would like it. Any of those things are easy things that you can tweak and change so that it works for you and your family. Just make sure that you set those rules and expectations for your family so that they know exactly what they have to do in that shared space, so that everyone can enjoy that space and you aren't the one that has to take the brunt of keeping that space organized. Love what you see? Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every Wednesday.